It's over. It's so over. I have some terrible news. Mokujin was nerfed. It's heartbreaking. He was a thick and juicy BBM, a big beautiful Mokujin, and then they turned him into a twink. Now what exactly am I talking about? I'll be giving a few examples, but I'll start with the one that's easiest to demonstrate, like this bear down back 4 into while standing 4. In Tekken 6 it's very consistent and can land at any range, and if we go to Tekken Tag 2, it doesn't land. So when was Mokujin nerfed? It was all the way back in 2011, the very day that Tekken Tag 2 was released. And with a new game comes some new changes, and the major one, for Mokujin anyways, was hitboxes and hurtboxes being slightly tuned, made a little tighter compared to Tekken 6. And it wasn't just Mokujin, every character was slightly tuned a bit, but this change barely affects them, if at all. But for Mokujin, who has a static height, and can copy characters that are smaller or bigger than him, even the smallest change to his hitbox can have some drastic and unforeseen consequences. And so going back to down back 4, while standing 4 will land consistently on any character, but on smaller characters, some follow-ups after while standing 4 will whiff at max range. And after landing down back 4, then doing a crouch cancel, back 2-1 can land. And this one's my personal favorite. After landing down back 4, down 2 can pick up the opponent. And if you do a crouch cancel after doing the down 2, down back 1-2 can land for a bound. And this is the combo I regularly used back when I played Tekken 6. Very good damage and very good wall carry. And the timing is weird, but after figuring it out, it's a very easy combo to land. And then we go to Tekken Tag 2, and all those combo options and routes that were in Tekken 6, gone, or now very inconsistent. Large characters, don't even bother. On normal characters, while standing 4 will only connect from a very specific angle after a sidestep right. And on smaller characters, while standing 4 is like flipping a coin. It will land sometimes and whiff sometimes. And down 2, which was very consistent in Tekken 6, will only land consistently on small characters, unless the planets align. Down 2 landed on Brine when I was recording, but only once. I tried to recreate it, but after a couple dozen attempts I just gave up. And back 2-1 can still land, but with Mokujin's tighter hitbox, the timing is much tighter, and even when I did it frame perfect, it still just randomly whiffs sometimes. So compared to Tekken 6, much harder execution and much more inconsistent. And the combo also does less damage than in Tekken 6. The down 2 into the crouch cancel, down back 1-2 bound can still be done, but compared to Tekken 6, you have to be nearly frame perfect. It is much harder to land, and the combo I like to use back in Tekken 6 does less damage in Tag 2. On normal characters, you can do something similar to a down 2. After down back 4, if you do a crouch cancel into an immediate down jab, it will land. But it also does less damage than down 2. And after some testing, it also recovers 1 frame slower than down 2. So some combos can't be done. And all this in Tag 2 is just too annoying. So what I do is just a delayed down 1+2 for an unskilled grounded hit. It's consistent on every character. Now the bear's down back 4 with Mokujin is one of the things that is most noticeably affected by the small tuning of moves and hitboxes in Tag 2. There are a few more examples, but the changes are a little more subtle, like this Julia and Michelle combo I like to use. Now it might be a little hard to notice, because Mokujin can still do these combos, but in Tag 2, the timing is much tighter in certain parts, and in this combo it's the forward 1 and the down forward 1. And cutting to a slow motion of a dropped combo, and if we freeze on the frame it would have hit. As you can see, it pretty obviously whiffed, but if we cut to Tekken 6 after using the same inputs and on the same frame, I mean look at that. God, he's so thick. So Tag 2 Mokujin requires a few frames of tighter execution compared to how he was in Tekken 6. There's another example very similar to the Julia and Michelle combo I just showed. It's Nina's butterfly loops, or the while standing 1 loops. Now when Tekken 6 Mokujin does it, the butterfly loops, the timing doesn't really feel too different compared to Nina's. It's about the same, but in Tekken Tag 2, it is much harder. I already went into detail about Mokunina in my video 2 Girls 1 Mokujin, but to quickly summarize, Mokujin is tighter than Nina. Due to Mokujin hitting higher, his butterfly loops require more execution compared to Nina, because the window to land a while standing 1 loop is a few frames tighter. And just like with the Michelle and Julia combo, do a freeze frame, and then switch over to Tekken 6 Mokujin using the same inputs in the same frame, and as you can see, Tekken 6 Mokujin is thick, and Tag 2 Mokujin is tight. we need to buff Mokujin now. But actually, these changes are not really that bad. The hitbox change only really affects some high execution combos, and only a handful of things. But Tekken 6 Mokujin is definitely the best version of Mokujin for now. His thicker hitbox makes him have significantly less negatives compared to Tag 2 Mokujin. And I said for now, because there's another Tekken game, Tekken 8 to be exact, the hitboxes can be a little chunky, a little thick. And who knows, if Mokujin was in Tekken 8 he might be the best version, but it's all speculation, but still, if only he was in Tekken 8. Also, thanks for watching.